So well, alright, I did play a little bit more with this scene before we really jump into multipasses, because I really didn't like the metal thing here. So I did try a little bit something else. Now it looks like this. I mean, not too bad, but still, this is, I don't know, it just isn't fitting, I think. So I just thought, okay, I'll make this extra part here and we try a little bit something else, and hopefully we can make it together, because otherwise this shot drives me crazy. I think we should go for somehow some balcony, maybe just make one here in the middle. Maybe that's good, maybe that's not. I mean, we can just simply try it, and yeah, let's jump right into it. I mean, yeah, let's just go. Let's jump in poly mode, or let's maybe jump in line mode. Let's click somewhere in the scene to select, deselect everything. And what we can do is just, we try to make a little bit of an, let's say, higher window. And let's make sure we make a loop cut. And from this line in the middle, we want to go to the left for, yeah, I'm not, let's maybe go with 12%. I mean, we can go back anyway if this is too much or too less. And here we go 12% as well on the right side. No, that's way too small, okay. Let's go maybe, let's go 20 on the left. And let's go 20 on the right. This might be a little bit more fitting, or 80 in this case. Sometimes it puts out some kind of higher value, then you just simply have to go 20 down from 100, and sometimes it just simply puts out a lower value, then you just simply have to type in 20%. I don't know why Cinema 4D is sometimes handling like that. Absolutely no clue. I think that's just fine, and I think we can model here a little bit something. We could make two small windows here and then one big door here, or one bigger door here. Or we just make one big door, which also might look okay. Good question. Okay, alright, so let's try this. We should just simply select all those edges here and maybe let's maybe select polygon mode. This would be way better. And let's make an extrude inner, so we get a little bit of an edge around this window, or some geometry around this window. Okay, this looks okay. Now is the question: do we want to make two small windows and one bigger, or do we want to just simply? Maybe this was even too far. Let's just not make this extrude inner so much. Maybe just like this. Okay. Let's go maybe with this two window variant. Let's just simply go extrude inner again, and let's take off preserve groups. And let's make this like this, maybe. And yeah, let's start to push this in. Let's go extrude. Whoops. Oopsarino. And let's push this in here. Without create caps, of course. Might look okay. Might not. Kind of hard to tell. I mean, let's just simply try it. We have to try it. How this really feels then in the end. We can also already give this glass a little bit of thickness. So this time we will create caps and go new transform. But not so much. We will definitely go down here to a value of, I don't know, -1 maybe. Or -0.5 might be way good enough. So -0.5. And let's make the selection already for the windows. So we can add our glass material quickly. Let's just make those selections here with the selection tool. And then we will also try to get the... Oh, what did I do here? Okay. Then we will also try to get the front. You can just simply take the move tool to select this. even thought this is now blue. We need to change this later on, but for now I just want to save this. So let's go select, set selection. We could also save this all in one selection tag, because this is all this window glass. We just have to select this, and then let me think, how can I do this? Hide polygons, restore, select and hide other select polygons. I think we just have to go here and go select polygons. And now we can go select, set selection while we have everything selected that we wanted, and are also in this selection tag. Then we go set selection, and this should override this tag, so we can get rid of this. And as soon as we double click this here now, we should have a selection for all our windows. The only thing that we need to do is, of course, change this here a little bit. And we also need to push down the windows a little bit more, right? This is not so good right here. Oh, I think, let's delete this. Oh, okay. We have here some caps, which is not so good. Let's check the selection tag again. Okay, so the inside is selected. Let's go select this, this and this, holding down shift while all the others are selected as well. And let's go set selection. This was me doing a little bit of an, yeah, not really good while extruding. And when we have set this here now, we can just go right click, reverse normals, and we should be ready to go. Yeah, okay, that's good. And we can give this cross here, of course, we need to give it somehow some kind of window color. And what we could do is, I think I would just really stack kind of black here in this scene. Maybe, I mean, we can check it out. And let's make it somehow some window plastic. So let's go make a new material. Let's make it 1.58 maybe. And let's go down with the glossiness maybe to 0.78. And in the diffuse layer, or in the diffuse color, I wanna go, yeah, white is okay, and let's go maybe 90% here. This might be okay, and let's drop this. I think we need to make a selection tag here as well, of course, because this is all this one big building. I mean, we could also split it if we want to, but let's just simply make a quick selection here. Let's try it like, yeah, we need to select this here as well, this outer frame. Let's just do this. Okay. Okay. This one right here, down here. And let's go select. We could go split if we want to, or we could go select, set selection. We also need to, of course, select here the inside. This would be pretty good. Totally forgot that. Otherwise we have here our wall shader again, which would not look so good on the window, I guess. So let's select the inside here as well. We could also go select loop selection, which would be way faster probably. And then just simply make it like this and like this. And here we should have already everything selected. Not here, okay. Alright, but I think a selection tag is just fine. We don't really need to split this off from the geometry. So let's go select, set selection, and let's drop in this white material that we just created. I will just quickly call this window paint, and let's go into this material and let's drop here the selection tag, so that Cinema 4D knows where to apply this material, to which selection tag. Okay, alright, everything else should be fine. The windows should be already be glass here because of the selection tag here where we have added the glass. And the one thing that I want to add here some kind of balcony, like I said before. So let's try to do this as well. Let's maybe jump in here, take this. This might be a little bit too big. We might have to make a knife cut here once again. So let's make a knife cut. And let's maybe halve this, because this is really, really big for a balcony, I guess. So let's maybe really go, I don't know, somehow here. Shift to lock this, and then 50%. And let's make the cut. Okay, perfect. And now we only select those upper polygons. And let's extrude this out. We could also just simply drop in a cube and make new geometry. I think that's not really necessary, but we could, of course. We could if we want to. And let's maybe make it like this. 280. 280 might be fine. Let's check with the camera what we get here. Then we can't really see the window. Okay, so let's make it maybe a little bit smaller. Maybe go 200 here. 200 might be just fine. Let me jump into the camera again. Okay, that's good. And we can't leave it like that, of course. That's clear. So we need to make here somehow some kind of ceiling, or handrails or whatsoever. So this would be good. Let's maybe, we could go with cylinders or we could go with cubes, and I personally think that cubes will look here better. So let's just simply drop in one cube. Let's make this smaller, way smaller. I think we need to make it editable first of all. And now we can scale this around, even so that I have no clue where I have to go into object mode, sorry. Now I get my scaling handles. And let's make this really, really small. Maybe, yeah, I don't know, maybe something like this here. Even smaller, way smaller. And let's go for some kind of quadratic look here. And let's bring this over to the balcony. And let's see how this overall looks. If we have enough height for this and if they are thick enough and so on and so on. Maybe bring them in here. Might be really small, might be too small. Let's go a little bit bigger here in the X and in the Z. Let's maybe try it like this. Even more maybe. Let's try it like this. Okay, it's pretty good. And let's bring this right here. Might be still a little bit too small. I think I want to have it bigger. Let's go bigger here. Maybe like this. Here you can see the size exactly down here if you want to model it exactly like me. So you can always see this down here, the values that we are using. And let's make this a little bit higher in the Y as well. Okay. And what we for sure need, we need here some kind of bevel, that's for sure. I mean, this would have been easier if we wouldn't have made this cube editable, because then we have the chance to just simply go in here, object, and say, okay, I want to have a fillet. And then we can just simply say how much fillet we want to have on this cube. Might have been my fault as well, but we can easily make here some bevels. Let's just go edge mode, let's hit Control A, go bevel. Let's try it with 1 centimeter. Might be way too much. Let's go 0.2 centimeters here. Yeah, I think that's fine. That's just fine. And what we can do now to make life a little bit easier, instead of really copying this, we can use a MoGraph tool inside of Cinema 4D, and in this case a cloner object. And this does exactly what it says. So if you drop this cloner, this cube here into the cloner, this cloner object will just simply try to clone this thing as many times as we want. So we can here go, first of all we need to adjust this, because right now it's cloning this cube in the Y direction down here, as you can see, but we don't want to have it cloned in the Y direction. We want to have it cloned in the X direction. And now we need to find a value that's just simply good. First of all we need to find a count, and first of all we need to bring this up back to the balcony. And let's drop this here. Let's maybe drop it really here to the right side. Bring it into place, maybe somehow like this. Now we can go up here with the count, like really, really high. Let's maybe make it, I don't know, let's make it 30 for now. And now we need to play here with the X value. So how much distance between each cube will be. This is what we get for now. We also need to push this down a little bit more. And a little bit more into the back. A little bit more like this. Okay, pretty good. Let's bring this up a little bit. Okay, something like this. Looking good. And now it's on us to decide, okay, is this too much or is this okay? And to be really honest with you, I have no clue right now. So let's try just simply with 20 and let's see if we like this better. Let's just go like this maybe. I mean 20 might be, let's go with 26. I think let's take something in between. In between is probably always the best solution. Let's make this one higher. Doesn't really fit. No, it does. Let's go 33.9. Yeah, and then we should have everything in place. And what we can do, we can also tick on here render instances, and what that does is V-Ray is not loading the complete geometry, but it's creating points for these clones. So it will only really calculate this first object here as real geometry and then just duplicate via points that V-Ray is creating. So those points are just simply telling, okay, duplicate this object where those points that I created are located. And this can save a lot of RAM when you are rendering and are working with a cloner object. So render instances is definitely a good idea here. I mean, definitely, we would still have no problem whatsoever to render this shot and get it into our RAM because we're really low on geometry in this scene anyway. But if you're already here and have this cloner object and can use this option, why should we not? So definitely tick it on. We also, I think we need like maybe here, let me duplicate this cube here. And I will take this cube just simply, and now this cube is located completely somewhere else. This is the problem with this cloner object, that as soon as you move the cloner object, you move the cube inside, and as soon as you put the cube into the cloner, the cube is somewhere else. So this is just simply what you have to deal with it. They just have different locations in the scene. And let's maybe not make it so, how can I say that? Let's maybe try not to make it so so many parts of this cube here on the side. Let's maybe only go for, I don't know, let's duplicate this once again. It's maybe 2, 3, and maybe one more. And let's select all 4 of these and bring them over here. Alright, let's duplicate them. Let's bring them over here. Whoops. Only want to move it in the x-axis. Okay, a little bit more into the back. That's looking good. Okay, perfect. And now we just simply create a simple handrail here. So we need another cube. Let's bring this in. And let's make it not edible this time, so I can show you this fillet thing, which is kind of cool for what we're trying to do here. Let's make this handrail maybe something like this, and let's push this back here like this. Well, let's align it first of all, then we can really see what kind of height and thickness we really like on this handrail. I definitely want to have it stand out a little bit. So I think, okay, first of all, let's move it in this direction a little bit. Let's see. Okay, maybe even a little bit more. Okay, let's make this bigger. This cube. Yeah, like this might be okay. Like this might be really okay. And now, of course, we also need somehow some distance here. Let's move it in this direction. Let's make it bigger here with those handles. And we can really let it stand out a little bit. That's absolutely fine. And now we click here on fillet. As you can see, now it's completely round because the fillet radius is way too high. So we just go down with this fillet radius maybe to 0.5. This might be just fine for this thing. Or 0.556. And then you can also type in how much subdivisions you want to have in this rounding. Right now it's set to 5, so we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 subdivisions here in the rounding. Now we will just duplicate this cubarino here and rotate it like this, 90 degrees. Maybe not 90 degrees. What's happening here? No? Okay. I'm not sure. Let's just bring it in place, then we can really check what's going on here. If I did something wrong. Yeah, it's a little bit off rotated. Okay, now it's fine, I think. And let's make this way smaller, so we need to find this handle here. Yeah, this one. Click it and drag it. Let's bring this back in. And let's see if we can find the right size here. Bring it a little bit over here. Let's make it bigger. Let's bring it a little bit more in. Even a little bit bigger. Till this thing fits. Let me just, okay, we need way more here. Still way more. What the cappuccino? Still way more. No, now we are already there. Or almost there. A little bit smaller. This is just really adjusting stuff. I mean, yeah, there's not much to it. It's just simply what we have to do. And I think this looks fine. If we have here a little bit of an kind of a distance between those two, because this might be exactly the look how such handles are installed. Because you probably don't have one big thing here. You probably have 3 parts. So this one, and then on the other side. So I guess this is just fine. The only thing that we can now start to think about is what kind of look should we give this. We could make those things metal. We could make this complete thing here kind of an... here we need to go... Do we need to go bigger here? No, it's okay. Or do we want to make it, maybe give it some kind of wood look? Would this be fine for us? I mean, kind of hard. This is really up to us again. And we can also still, if we don't really like this here, we can still, in the cloner object and so on, we can still change this here a little bit, give this maybe more things. Let's maybe give it a little bit more. I think this looks kind of, maybe it looks okay. I'm not sure. What I want to do for sure is I want to give this here, of course, some kind of wall material, and the rest maybe some kind of wood material. So we could try to give this somehow some wood material, and then it's on us to decide if this looks good or not. I mean, there is not much to it. We just simply have to jump in, try it, and then see what the final look is. I mean, yeah, yep. So I will just go objects, group all those other cubes that we have here, and I call this handles for now, even though these are not only handles, but yeah. This cloner object, we know exactly what that does because it's our only one in the scene. Yeah, let's jump in and create a wood shader. Create shader, VRBridge advanced material. IOR maybe, for wood always kind of hard to tell. I would say something between 1.3 and 1.6. Let's go with 1.6 here for now. And let's load in the diffuse layer here wood material. Where do I have all my wood? Here we go. Maybe I really want to have here some kind of way brighter wood material. And we need to go down here a little bit with the reflection glossiness, of course. Let's check this out maybe with a little bit of a bigger preview. Might still be too glossy. Let's maybe go down more to 0.68. And let's up the glossiness subdivisions here straight away to 64 maybe. And I think this looks way better now. Yeah. And we also can give it somehow some bump. The cool thing is this thing comes with a bump map right away. Let's check it out. Bump in the first one, yes. And 1 centimeter might be too much. And also I think it's going in the wrong direction, so let's go -1. No, I think it was right. No, it really depends. I mean, it looks okay like this. Let's maybe stay with the bump for now. And let's just drop this onto our cloner object. And there is now really one kind of a problem. As soon as we drop this material here onto our cube, is that the material, we only have one material right now. This means that the mapping that we have right now will look everywhere the same. Let me show this quickly here with the Cinema 4D material and some different texture. Let me go options and turn textures on. And as you can see, this material is over and over always the same, and this is kind of a problem. So we don't have any possibility to change here an offset or anything else, because as soon as I change here an offset, of course all the others will move as well. So what we can do to get a little bit rid of this problem is we can just simply duplicate this cube, and then the cloner object will just simply say, okay, I have 2 cubes in here and with 2 different textures and maybe different offsets. Let's just use those 2 cubes, and as you can see, it's using now those 2 cubes. Here I have now a different texture, so this is the first cube, so every second cube is the first cube, and every other cube is the second one that we have here. And we can do this multiple times. We can do this 3 times, 4 times, whatsoever. And as you can see, this changes immediately. And then we can drop more and more textures. For this for now, I just will simply take one texture, but what I can do, which is kind of cool, I can now offset this texture. So let me select all of those 3 tags. Let's select the first one, hold down the Shift key, left mouse click to select all 3. And there's a cool comment inside of Cinema 4D. So you can go here in the offset V, X plus random. Then I'm not sure what this is called in English right now, but you probably can see it. Let me write it once again without a space. So X plus random, then this symbol, 100, close it and hit enter. And this will automatically try to create a different offset for all those materials. Or maybe let's take all 4. And we can do the exact same thing here in the U. So let's go X plus random. In German it's Klammer. 100, Klammer 2, enter, bam. And we get a different offset for all those materials. And let's maybe change this here to cubic. And let's maybe go here a little bit down. Let's maybe change this here to 45. And here we can stay 100 in the V. And this should give us enough room really to, yeah, as you can see, the texture looks now everywhere a little bit different. And we should maybe duplicate this cube a little bit more, maybe 6 times or something like that, so we don't have so much repetition. And yeah, let's maybe type this in again, X plus random. This is really a comment that you should really know, because this makes life so easy for a lot of stuff where you don't want to have duplicated textures. And this is also a common mistake. A lot of people just simply using the texture over and over again and not moving it and not offsetting it and so on and so on. The problem is really, I mean, the eye just simply recognizes, okay, there is something wrong, because every single piece of wood and every single piece of ceramic and whatsoever is just a single piece. So there is no repetitions. So yeah, or repetitions. So we will just drag and drop now our material here on those cubes as well. And then maybe set this, we can also just drop it onto this null object if you want to. But then we have the same problem again, that we can't, the exact same problem like in the cloner object. So we need to put this on every single one. So what we can do is just simply go in here hold down Shift, select all of those, right click here on the material that we want to apply, and then click Apply. And our materials are now on those. Then we can select all those materials here, make it cubic. Let's change it back here to 45 in the U, and let's go, as you might have guessed, X plus random 100, close this and enter. Let's do the exact same thing here as well. 100, enter. Okay, now the only thing that I'm worrying about a little bit is this handle, this really long handle up here, because as you can see here we're getting a lot of repetitions, which is not so good for us, of course. And here the same on the sides. For those small things we don't really have to worry about this, but for this long thing here, as you can see here, same texture, same texture, same texture, and so on and so on. So we need to change this somehow, so I think we need to make this here way bigger. So for this handle we need to go like maybe, I don't know, I mean it's really long. Now we're still getting like three repetitions. It's kinda bad here. Let's maybe go 300. And let's maybe go down here in the length V a little bit. So we can make this here a little bit smaller, so this looks overall a little bit better. Let's maybe go a little bit bigger like this, maybe. Let's maybe go even 400. And here on those things for the side, even though we won't see them really in the shot, we still can make this here a little bit larger. Yeah, let's just go 200 here. For the other handle here in the back as well. 200. Yeah. And I think this might be then just fine. I mean, we will see how this complete thing does look. And okay, we have our glass, we have our window color, we have our wood thingy here, and this should be textured as well. But I think I might want to go with a little bit of a different material here, not with this concrete here that we already did build, that we have on the wall already. I think I want to have it a little bit different. I just don't want to have those holes in there. So we will just simply go with a simple color. Let's pull this out of the diffuse layer. Let's also get a little bit rid of the. Let's maybe not get rid of the dirt. Let's just delete this here from the unoccluded color, the map that we have loaded, and let's go. Color. Okay, and now we go kind of grayish, like the other concrete is, of course. So let's go maybe kind of dark grayish. Maybe this is too dark. Oh, and I didn't duplicate this material first of all. This was my fault, sorry. So let's go back a few steps. Let's duplicate this first of all. And now let's clear this here and let's give it a color. And now I think we don't even have to go that dark. Something around here maybe. Let's compare them. Okay, maybe a little bit darker. Let's compare them again down here. Now we're getting somewhere. And what we can do, we can also give this a little bit so it gets some crackles and stuff like that. We can load a different map here instead of this bump map that we have already used. So let's go maybe again with this metal glossiness map. I think this will give us a really nice kind of bump thing. And let's change this black value here maybe a little bit. And this white value. So we're getting more and more bump. Let's look at this. If we need to change anything. Might look fine already, but let's wait for this. Seems like we retake some time for this one. I don't know, there's not so much going on. You can, by the way, also set here preview glossiness subdivisions. So the subdivisions that we always set here in a specular layer for final rendering, we can also do this here for preview purposes to make V-Ray maybe handle this a little bit faster. So we might can go here to 64 or something like that. Anyway, let me save this file first of all before I do anything else. Okay, just saved it, and I don't know if V-Ray is messing up right now. Let's maybe make this smaller and let's see how fast this gets calculated. Okay. Yeah, I think it looks okay. Let's maybe leave it like that for now, and let's create first of all a Cinema 4D material and load the right map that we just loaded into the bump, so I can see a little bit better where the bump will be applied on this object. And I think I need to make a selection tag for this one here as well. Yeah, so let's go select loop selection, select those parts in here as well, and let's select those parts down here as well, and let's go select set selection. We also need to make here somehow, let's first, I think we should really split this. Let's split this first of all. Let's go split, hit delete on our keyboard so it gets deleted from the original building, and then we just call this here balcony. I'm not sure if this is right here. I hope so. Let's delete all the materials because we don't need them anymore. And let's first of all make here some beveling. Let's go into edge mode. Let's select this edge up here. This is important, and those edges here. Not these edges, just the edges in the front. Yeah, and let's go bevel. And let's just go maybe 1 centimeter here, and let's go new transform. And this might be a little bit too much. Let's maybe go down here 0.5, 0.3 might be just fine. Okay, perfect. So we have some beveling here going on, which is good. Also on our cubes, which is good. And now we can drop the Cinema 4D material on this. And this is how our bump would be applied at the moment. Not really good. Let's also check the downside, because this is probably the most that we will see, and here the front side. So let's change this here to cubic, as you might have guessed. And we have a lot of repetitions here, which is not good. So we have to drag this out here really, like this. And then maybe make the length V. Let's make it smaller here a little bit. Let's see what we get down here. Might look okay. Might look a little bit scaled out, but we will see. We will see how it does look in the final shot, so we can decide. And we need to make it a little bit longer in the length, otherwise we'll get or run into some repetitions. So let's drop our concrete material that we just created over this thing here, and let's see what we get. Where is it? Down here. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Let's turn on our lights. Let's jump into the camera. Let's maybe try. Did I try a different camera angle as well? Yes. Let's try it from this angle with this camera. And yeah, I will just simply let this render and show it to you when it's finished, and then we can decide, okay, how do the shader look, how is the overall look, does it fit in the scene, and so on and so on. So we will check this out in just a minute. Alright, so the render has finished. I'm not really satisfied with it yet, to be honest. I think we might have to take away some dirt here from this concrete, because I don't like the dirt here, really. I mean, even thought it might be possible that it gets dirty, of course. I don't really think it looks that good. And also with the wood, I would play maybe a little bit more. Let's maybe go with the IOR down. And I really said, I think before, I want to have a black window. In the end, I didn't make a white window, no clue why. And another thing that I don't really like, maybe we need more of those cubes here. This might look a little bit better, can't tell yet, but we will try it with more. And also there's still some noise introduced, which I think are coming from the GI and also coming from the light as well, still in here. so we don't have a clean render. And the problem is also the anti-icing is really, really low. When you look at this map, we don't get a lot of anti-icing, which I don't like. So we have to adjust this as well. So let's first of all fix the anti-icing while we are on it. Let's maybe go down here to 0.02 and let's make here something happen in the scene. Let's maybe give this more clones. Let's maybe say, I don't know, let's go 38. And let's go down here with the X value so that they are also fitting in. Okay, and we're really lucky. This is already fitting in. Okay, perfect. So with a value of 22.9, we are pretty good here, or we're looking good. What was the other things that I said? Yeah, exactly. Black window and maybe wood IOR a little bit down. Let's maybe go with a value here of 1.4. Might be a little bit better. And let's go here on a concrete that we have on our balcony. Let's go here. Yeah, let's maybe deactivate the dirt for now. Use dirt just simply ticked off. Where is the button? Here it is. Okay, perfect. But now we also need to clear this texture and need to load a color. And to be honest, I want to load the color from this concrete here. So let me just open up this preview window and let me get somehow this color value from this thing here. Let's just use any specular channel, use the specular color. Let's take the picker and let's maybe pick it around here. So this is kind of greenish, even a little bit. So we will just go with those values here. 162, 167 and 162. In this concrete material, so we have the exact same color here, so it's doesn't look so far off. 162, 167, 162. This might be just fine. And what was the other things that I want to change? Exactly, black window. IR I did change. So let's set this here to a black window here, the diffuse color. Let's maybe go really 100% black because we are here in the brightness, we are at 90, so that's just fine, I guess. And let's turn back on the light and let's do another render. Let's see how much noise. Yeah, noise, exactly. I need to go higher here a little bit in the brute force, even though this is already at 256. Maybe I have to go higher here in the specular layer here as well. Let's maybe make this here. Nah, I think this is too high. 128 might be just fine. Let's maybe only go higher in the light. But here I also have already 256. And we still get a lot of noise, which I don't really like. Let me check the layers again, so I can really see a little bit better what's going on here. I think the light is still bringing in some noise. Here you can see it really, really good, that we have a lot of noise going on here. And GI looks the same. I mean, has exactly the same noise problems. Let's look at the specular. Maybe really it is the specular. Let's maybe go in this material up to 512 and let's see if we can get rid to 256, and let's see if we can get rid of the noise here. Let's do the same for this concrete here as well, and let's jump in the camera. Light is turned on. We can definitely get rid of the DOF because we're not getting any DOF because we're just simply too far away and not near enough to any object so that we really get something out of focus here, no matter what we try, probably, even if we would set this value here, f-stop to 1, even though this would be a completely unrealistic value for a camera anyway, but this wouldn't really help anyway. Okay, so let's render again, and maybe also getting rid of the DOF also gives us a cleaner image already. So I will stop this video and I will show it to you as soon as this has finished. Okay, so in the middle, while rendering, I think this is just simply too clean here. We need here a little bit more dirt. I think the wood looks pretty okay. The window should maybe be a little bit more in the color like the rest. I mean, this is really, you know, a taste thing. At least we got really rid of the noise. And also the wood looks better. So yeah, we're definitely heading in the right direction here. So let's maybe go here something like this. So maybe let's try it really with this value that we used before, 162 here, 167. So the concrete color, and 162 here in the B. Let's click OK. Let's maybe try to make this window color exactly like this, and maybe even go down a little bit more with the reflection glossiness. And we can add here to the concrete a little bit of dirt, of course. I mean, we can just simply load the same map that we have here in the bump as dirt as well. Or what we could do, we could just make another blend material, create shader, mirror bridge blend material, then drop in our concrete and over it the dirt that we have already created. Like this, and then just simply drop the blend material over this. Let me save this first of all. And then we drop this blend material over this balcony, so we're getting a little bit of dirt here. And the next thing there's one thing that I want to try. I mean, normally I don't do that, but I want to activate for this wood a second specular layer. You need to see this like this. Let's say you have a really nice even wood piece that you buy, I don't know, somewhere, doesn't matter. And it has somehow its own reflection, of course. So this is what we tried to achieve here. So this wood has a little bit of a reflection, and this we did here with the specular layer 1. Let's say at some point after 5, 6, 7, 8 years, this wood is all the time on the outside and it gets a lot of rain and it gets a lot of sun. So at some point you just simply have to go out and paint this wood somehow new. So, and this, whatever paint you are using will give it, of course, a different glossiness. But under this glossiness, the wood has still its own reflection somehow. So what we can do to say, how can I say that? To make this paint, just simply happen on this wood, we can just simply turn on a second specular layer and then try to make this maybe a little bit more glossy, maybe something like 0.87 or 0.85. And when it's really, really fresh paint or something like that. And let's maybe go down here to 1.33. So it looks something like water. And I think this might give our wood a little bit of this special look that we might need. And I also want to make this wood maybe a little bit darker. So we can make a colorizer over this. And let's just simply try to make this a little bit more... I mean, we could also just simply try it with a filter, sorry. Let's go back. And let's drop a filter on it. And then we can just play here with the U value. And try to make this a little bit more, let's say, darker. Let's give it maybe a little bit more saturation. Lightness a little bit down, maybe even a little bit more saturation. Yeah, something like this maybe. I think I like this a lot. And let's save this and let's render this once again. And let's see how this glossy painted look, does look on our thing here. I really want to just try it out, check it out if we can get a really nice look here. If we don't, we can just simply delete it. So yeah, I will render this out quickly and I'll see you in a minute. Alright, so I think it looks a little bit better now, definitely. The only thing that I don't really like is that the dirt here is just simply too stretched out. So the only thing that we can really do, because this map is just too small for this thing, is we could create our own noise dirt map for this thing, and I think this is exactly what we should do, or should be doing. So let me open up this Cinema 4D material here, and let's drop this over, first of all, over this balcony thing. And now we clear this texture, and we go Cinema texture, and then we go noise. And with noise we can do all kind of cool and great things, and also here in the scene we can directly see, okay, what is happening and how does our noise look. So first of all, we can go through different noises, so box noise, blister turbulence, which will probably something be that we will take. Then we have chronal. You have all kind of different noise textures in there, which is pretty cool. I think some guy did this years ago, really years ago, and at some point Maxim just simply bought all his stuff and said, okay, we want to use this really for Cinema 4D, and we're buying your stuff so we can reuse it over and over again in our application, which is pretty cool. So I think blister turbulence will be pretty nice, and we can scale this texture, we can do all kind of crazy stuff here. We can make the global scale higher, we can make it lower, and then we can also play a little bit with the clipping here, with the low and high clip. So if we say, okay, we want to have more dirt, then we up here the low clip, and if we say, okay, we want to have less dirt, then we just simply go down here with the high clip and do exactly this here. So as you can see, we're already getting here a little bit of a better dirt, or just simply more dirt and completely variance dirt. And let me change here this thing back to cubic 100 and also with no offset. And I think this will be way too much right now. So let's up this texture maybe a little bit. Let's maybe leave it at 100, otherwise we're running into some problems, which we do anyway. Let's maybe try it with UV mapping. No, UV mapping won't work. Let's try it with flat. No. Okay, let's go with cubic. Maybe this is just a viewport bug. This should really be an endless texture. So like a full procedural material. We just simply take away more dirt and more dirt. And maybe like this we can go with that already. The only thing we need to do is we need to type in here of the white color, because we will use this noise here in our diffuse channel, of course. This means we need to change the white color here to the color that we want as a base color, of course, for our balcony. And we had before 162, 167 and 162. The only thing is that I think this color is not close enough, so I think I want to go a little bit darker here. So let's maybe like this, let's maybe change this V value here down to 55 maybe. And let's copy this noise, copy channel, and let's bring this over to our concrete. And in the diffuse layer, we just simply bring this in here, paste channel, and this should be it. And yeah, I think now we don't even need this blend material anymore. We can just simply delete this, and let's drop the concrete material over our Cinema 4D material, and let's render this again. Let's maybe just make a quick test render here. And let's see what we get. Won't hurt. And let's see if we're color-wise closer to the wall, and also let's see how our dirt looks. We also should put this noise map as a bump map, of course. This I totally forgot somehow. I mean, we can also use a different bump map. I mean, just because the wall is dirty at some space, it doesn't mean that it also has some bump exactly on this position. So in this case, it doesn't even really matter if we use the same map that we use in the diffuse also in the bump. Yeah, I think we're getting a little bit something, and also I like the color way more for now. Looking good. Let's see this. Maybe we can stretch this out a little bit more, so we get a little bit of a bigger. But I think it's okay. I think we can definitely go with those small spots here. Let's see the rest maybe. And yeah, I think that's basically it. So we can really now finally jump into our multipass chapter and render out some really nice multipasses. And yeah, we will just try to do this, render this out as good as we can, and then I will show you how you can use multipasses for your advantage. But I really think the shot looks now way better than before with all those things that we had on the wall. I just really think it looks way better, to be honest. And if something doesn't look appealing to me, and just, I don't know, just simply doesn't feel right, and this image is completely made up. I mean, if this house really has those 3 plates going on and there's some kind of plastic or metal or something, then we just simply have to achieve this look for the client, of course. But since this is really our own thing that we did create, we can play around and see really, okay, what do we need to really make this all fit together and make this shot kind of appealing to the viewer as well. So I think we just did this with this little balcony here, and I really like it, to be honest. The only thing that I really would like to change, this is really the last thing, I swear, I really swear, is we can also make this cloner object. I mean, I want to have one really big cube here in the middle. Since it's a cloner object, we don't really have the possibility to just simply delete 2 cubes here. This is not possible that I go there and say, okay, let me delete this cube here. Just not possible. So the only thing that we really can do is we can hit here, when render instances is on, we can hit the C key, make this editable. This gets automatically in a null object so that everything is grouped together. And our 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 cubes that we had before are edited, and the rest are all instance objects. So this means the rest still is rendered in instances, so we don't have to worry about that to lose that. But what I can do now is just to simply go there and delete one of those 2. Let's say maybe this one. I think I need a normal cube. Let me see. I think I need to delete both, and then I will just duplicate one of those cubes, because we need here real geometry and no instance, because the instance we can't change. If I duplicate now an instance here and pull it over here and try to make this bigger or larger, this will just simply, I mean, it can happen, but in the end here in the I have selected both. This is why I don't think it can happen, because as you can see, this is not getting bigger no matter what I do, because this cube will always mirror what it says here. So reference object is this cube null, and when this cube null is just simply at that size, you can't change this instance anymore. It's just simply a clone of this. So we would need to change this in this cube, but that's not really good for us. So we need here real geometry. So we take this cube here. Okay, this is the wrong cube. Did I? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I did duplicate something. This one, I guess. And let's just simply make this bigger here. So we have one bigger exactly in the middle, and let me delete this one. Okay, and let's bring this over here, and let's make this one just bigger than the rest. We scale it out, something like this, and I think this gives us a little bit of more, or a cooler variance here to look at. I don't know, this is just simply, for me, I just think we have a little bit of a better look here if we do it like that. And so yeah, might look a little bit better. And let's maybe change the wood here a little bit on this thing. Let's jump cubic. Whoopsie, not good. Let me check this one here. Yeah, now we can change this here a little bit. Like this, and let's maybe make this a little bit smaller here. Like this, and a little bit smaller here. Yeah, I think this looks good. Okay, and let's save this. Let's go File, Save. Let me look at the picture view again. Yeah, this already looked nice. Now with the new noise that we have, it even looks better. And there's a lot that we can do with multipasses and in Photoshop afterwards, which is really cool. So yeah, the next part will be the multipass part, where we'll render out all those things, and then we'll put this complete shot back together in Photoshop and see how really nice we can make this shot in Photoshop. So thanks for listening. I really hope you learned something in this lesson, and